We definitely want to win.
Thank you, Martin. Could you expound on that, please?
Looking forward to Bristol. I mean, we've had some really good success here the last few years at Michael Waltrip Racing, and we've had a great car throughout practice this afternoon. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. You know, this race is can get kind of crazy. It seems like everybody's running the top groove around the high side like we did last year in the night race. So it's going to be an interesting race for sure. The bottom is really non-existent. It's going to be hard to pass. It's going to be some guys fighting for the top and getting mad at each other and throwing helmets, and it's going to be exciting. So looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll come out on the good end of things.
Thank you, Martin. Taking questions now from Martin Truex. Questions, please. Raise your hand. We'll get to you. Right here. Go ahead, sir.
There we go. Martin, could you just talk about being in the position you're in, of how you handicap trying to go for the win and making the right call, but not trying to roll the dice so far as you end up putting yourself in a bad position or doing something to where you push the equipment and wind up having a DNF or something that goes wrong and take yourself out of the position for the chase?
Well, I think that, we go, certainly we go into every race weekend, trying to win the race. And, obviously, depending on where you're at, kind of dictates some things you can do. But for the most part, we're really just going to keep doing the things we've done all year and done in the past as a team. I mean, there are certain times at certain places you can really gamble fuel mileage-wise or things like that to try to get a good finish. But, for the most part, our strategy is going to be the same as it's been all year long. That's just, get everything we can get each of these next 3 weekends. And, wherever it puts us, we'll have to be happy with that. I mean, it's, you can't lose sleep over it. You can't make yourself crazy. It is what it is. I'm looking forward to the race here this weekend. I think we can have a shot at having a great run, and we'll just have to concentrate on that. So I don't think we really race any different. I think you just got to put the points behind you and just go out there and just do the best job you can and do the things that got you here.
Other questions for Martin? Well, Martin, I've got one. What's the key to racing here at Bristol? I mean, you mentioned, not a whole lot of room out on this racetrack, those types of things. What's the key to having success here?
Well, I mean, it seems to change so much. This race, I expect it to be a lot like the spring race or the summer race last year. Fighting for the high side, being on the right pit sequence is going to be important. But as far as driving the car, I mean, especially today, the track is just so fast. We were running some really, really fast lap times in practice, and everybody's running up against the wall. There's not a lot of margin for error. So you have to be very, very aggressive with driving the car at the same time, not step over that line. And Bristol's, especially when you run the high side, it's a big momentum racetrack, and so you're in the gas a lot. And you're not really slowing down at all through the center of the corner. So carrying a lot of speed and really putting the car on the edge is what makes you good here.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, David Newton, ESPN.com. And knowing what all is at stake here over the next 3 weeks, does it stress you out? Are you getting nervous? Do you think about it? Or, I mean, Greg Biffle was joking earlier in the week he's not going to sleep for 3 weeks. So how do you approach it?
It's definitely, it's not the situation you want to be in, obviously. It'd be awesome to be sitting here and say, we're a virtual lock, or some guys are already locked in. I'm very jealous of that, not going to lie. But, I don't know. I just, I quit looking at the points 2 months ago, honestly. And I told myself, all we can do is what we're going to do. There's no sense in worrying about it. There's no sense in losing sleep. It's hard not to think about sometimes, for sure. But again, I think that we just need to I think if we think about it too much and worry about it too much, we'll beat ourselves, and we don't need to do that. We're a good enough race team. We've had a good enough season. We shouldn't be in this position, but we are, and so we got to step up. We got to make it happen when the pressure's on, and the way to do that, in my eyes, is to not look at it, not worry about the points, not stress yourself out, not say it's the end of the world if we don't make it. Just go out and do the job. I don't think it makes it more difficult. I think it makes it a little bit more disappointing, frustrating, because I feel like we're some of the stuff that's happened to us has been like, you got to be kidding me. But, that's part of racing. That's how it goes. Some days it's just not your day, no matter how fast you are, no matter how good a job everybody does. And so, that just comes with territory. And, we just need to step up and overcome that stuff and show people what we're made of.
Over here to Reed, to your left, Martin.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Martin, today with Rodney's news that he's going to be heading for Stewart Haas, how big a blow is that for the organization, and how tough is it going to be to replace him for the team?
Well, he's not going to be an easy person to replace. He's very, very good at what he does. He's been a big part of Michael Waltrip Racing. Obviously, he was there long before I was, and so he's very smart. Really enjoyed my time there working with him. Because we did work very closely together with all our teams, and he brought a ton to the table. So it's going to be hard to replace him for sure, especially this late in the season. And he's definitely a special talent. So, that's part of the sport. I mean, people change and find things that, better opportunities elsewhere. And I wish Rodney the best of luck. And, hopefully we'll find somebody good to fill that position.
Martin, I have another question for you. Your brother's
when do you ask questions?
Hey, I got the mic. But your brother's making his debut tomorrow night in the Sprint Cup Series. I know you've raced against him before, but
no, I have not.
You haven't?
No, I have once. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I won one time.
Okay. Phoenix.
Yeah, I
but
crashed.
Talk about that, having your brother out there tomorrow night. What do you think he's experiencing, and have you talked to him today and given him any advice, and how's that all working out?
It's really, really cool, honestly, to be out there to see him running, to see, he hasn't been, he's the only race car he's been in all season. He ran at Daytona in a truck, and he ran some laps last weekend for Ambrose at Mid-Ohio. That's the only racing he's done this year, period. And he didn't test. He hasn't been in a Gen 6 car. He hasn't run a Cup car in 3 years. He went out there today in the second practice. He's like 21st. He's like a tenth slower than me. I mean, it shows you what he can do, and just so proud of him for, for staying the course, for working hard. He put so much effort into it, and he knows what he wants to do, and he knows what he can do. It's a shame that other people haven't seen that yet, but they're going to, and I'm just proud of the way he handles himself, and he's a good kid, and I expect he's going to do a really good job tomorrow night. So it's going to be awesome to be out there with him. It was fun to see him there in practice today. I got around him a few times and was checking up, making sure he was running where he was supposed to, and wasn't doing anything silly. So it's going to be cool for him to race tomorrow night. It's going to be a tough race for him. It's a long one. Track position and things like that. He's going to learn a ton, and that's what he's here for. So it's going to be cool to see him out there, and hopefully he has a good night. He could really use it.
Go ahead, David.
My dad, I asked my dad, this morning, are you nervous about this? He's like, well, no, I just told him to stay the hell away from the 56. He's like, that's all I can see it happening now. You guys are wrecking together and you're not making a chase. So I think out of all three of us, my dad's more nervous about the whole situation than we are. So Ryan seems fine with it. He's just ready to go. He was talking about it all week, and it couldn't have got here quick enough for him.